our last class, we started our discussion on the concept of demand and supply. And our last class, we looked at price system. We saw the different types of price system. Today, we are still on that concept of demand and supply. Today, we are still on demand. In the course of our class today, we're going to cover three areas. First, what is demand? Second, the law of demand. Then third, we'll draw a schedule and a demand curve. But what is demand? Demand simply means the quantity of goods or services that consumers are willing and able to buy at alternative price over a given period of time. What consumers are ready to buy at alternative prices over a given period of time. We shouldn't mistake demand for wants and needs. Want is just something you desire to have, but you don't have the backup power to pay for it. That is just want. You just desire to. You just wish to. Wishful thinking. But when we talk about demand, demand has to do with you are willing to pay. You are willing to back up your wish with payment in order for you to have that product, in order for you to have that services. That is demand. Your ability to pay the price and to receive the benefits, either it's goods or services. And it has to be at alternative prices, because demand cannot remain at a fixed price. Though in our pricing system, we saw that there are a kind of system that the market may want you to remain at the fixed price, but that will not give you cost efficiency and profitability margin. No, that can't give you that. But for demand, you are willing to pay something to get something in return at alternative prices. And so these alternative prices will help us to draw a schedule and help us to derive the demand, the law of demand. We'll find out when we come to point number 2. So we've seen what demand is. That it is simply the quantity of goods and services that consumers are willing and able to buy at alternative prices over a given period of time. Now we've seen what demand is. Then the law of demand. We're going to state the law of demand and see how it relates in the real world. Basically, in this class, I'm going to talk about the first law of demand. The first law of demand is what I'm going to focus this class on. So we'll go to the next bullet point in our objective, the law of demand. What is the law of demand? The law of demand just states that when price is high, the quantity demanded is low. And when price is low, the quantity demanded is high. That's just the law, the first law of demand. That when the price of goods and services is low, the higher the demand from consumers. Consumers will buy more. For example, a product is sold at 100 naira. Consumers that will come to buy it might be up to 1,000. But once this product that is sold for 100 naira goes to 1,000 naira, you see that the demand, those who will come to buy it, might not be more than 100. That is it. When the price is low, the demand is high. When the price is high, the demand is low. That is the first law of demand. The law states that all things being equal, the higher the price, the lower the quantity of goods that will be demanded. Or the lower the price, the higher the quantity of goods that will be demanded. So the higher the price, the lower the demand. The lower the price, the higher the demand. That's the first law of demand. Now we have seen the first law. We've explained what the first law is. We are going to use this law to derive a demand schedule, and we're going to draw a demand curve. How does this price of higher the price, lower the quantity, or the lower the quantity, the higher the price, how does it affect the demand schedule? Let's go to our last objective for our class today, which is we're going to draw a schedule and then we're going to draw the demand curve. Look at what a demand schedule is. A demand schedule, it's a table showing the relationship between price and quantity of commodity demanded. It is a table that shows the quantity and the price at which a product is demanded. I want to draw a schedule now. For Mr. John's demand, Mr. John's demand schedule of milk, tin milk. Tin milk. This is Mr. John's demand. When the price was at 100 naira, Mr. John demanded for just 10. The price, he drank just 10 tin of milk for 1 week. When the price became 80 naira, he bought more, 20. When the price becomes 60 naira, he bought 30. When the price becomes 40 naira, he bought 40. And when the price becomes 20 naira, he bought 50. The law of demand is here. The higher the price, the lower the quantity he bought. But the lower the price, the higher the quantity he demanded. This is his schedule. This is what he demanded. When the price was high, he bought low, few tins of milk. But when the price came down to 20 naira instead of 100 naira, he bought more tin milk. That is what a demand schedule is, showing the relationship between price and quantity. It tells us at what price it was bought and what is the quantity demanded. Now, let's draw a demand curve. This is the demand curve for Mr. John. When he have 100, when it was sold at 100 naira, this is price. This is quantity demanded and this is price. When the price was 100 naira, he demanded for just 10. When the price becomes 80 naira, he demanded for 20. When the price becomes 60 naira, he demanded for 30. And when the price becomes 40 naira, he demanded for 40. The price becomes 20 naira, he demanded for 50. And in drawing our demand schedule, you draw it, and this is our demand schedule. This is how a demand curve is. So if you are given a demand schedule, this is for a demand schedule for an individual. Same relationship goes for a demand schedule for a number of consumers. Mr. A, B, C, D. State A, B, C, D. The same principle that applies to an individual is the same principle that applies to a group of individuals. So we have seen what a demand schedule is, shows relationship between demand and supply. We've seen what demand is. The higher the price, the higher the law of demand. When price is higher, people buy low. When the price is low, people buy more. And we saw the demand curve. That will be it for our demand class for today. Next, we are going to take supply. Remember, we are still under the concept of demand and supply. I just wrote demand, but next we're going to see the concept of supply. What is the concept of supply? Just as we saw the law, we saw the schedule, we saw the curve. That same thing we see on the supply curve. Thank you for dropping by. Share our videos. If there are videos you're not seeing on the channel, head over to Class Online School. Subscribe. Give us thumbs up if you like what we're doing. If you have comments, comment below the comment box. Thank you for dropping by. Thank you for being our community. Always watch and rewatch so that it can become part of you. Until I come your way next time. Thank you.